Hello, I'm Therese, and FaveCrafts.com has asked me to make a video on how to make a stocking. And I have several different kinds of stockings I'm going to show you how to make, but anytime you start a stocking, you have to start with the basic pattern. If you don't already have a basic pattern, you can download one in a PDF file, and you can print it out on your regular printer, and you will get 4 sheets, and you cut these out, tape them together, and you will have your basic stocking pattern. So once you have your basic pattern taped together, you cut it out in the fabric of your choice, and I've cut it out here in a red pattern. I'm going to put my right sides together, and I'm going to stitch along this side and close up my stocking. If you have your stocking sewn together, you need to clip by the heel of the toe and around so that when you turn your stocking, the curved areas will turn well. You just clip in to the stitching, clip it just a few places so that it won't bind when you're turning it. Another thing you can do if you're not going to line your stocking is you can, at this point in time, you can finish it by serging it along this edge, which is usually what I do, or zigzagging it, and then turn your stocking inside out and go from there. Or you can line your stocking and just simply making another piece that you're going to make. You don't have to zigzag your edges then because it's lined, and also clip those edges, just turning one of them. And if you're not lining this stocking, what you'll need to do is take the edge of your stocking at the top, turn it in 1/4 of an inch and another 1/4 of an inch, and then sew around the edge. If you are lining it, you take your lining, which you don't turn inside out, you leave the way it is, and match the toe with the toe of your stocking so that wrong sides of fabric are matching wrong sides of fabric. And then match it up so the top of your stocking, the seams match. Now there's several things you can do to finish off this seam. At the top, you can take both of your fabrics, you can turn them in about 1/4 of an inch, and this one in 1/4 of an inch, and then pin it and sew it along this edge so your seam is finished at the top. Basically you're sewing them in and your seam is finished at the top, and then you can hang it that way. Another thing you can do is you can take seam binding. You can either make your own seam binding or you can get contrast seam binding. In this case I'm going to use the same fabric. I'm going to turn it in 1/4 of an inch each side, and then I am going to put it around the top of both pieces of my fabric, the lining and the other top and the outside piece. I'm going to pin it, and then when I get that secured, I'm going to sew it in place. So now I have the top of my stocking bound to finish off the top seam, like that. Now my stocking has a finished edge across the top. I need to make a hanger for it, and that's basically the same way as making the binding. You take a piece of fabric about 1.5 to 2 inches wide, you fold it in, you can press it in with the iron, and then you want to fold it again. It's on top of each other, and you're making a strip like that. And now when I sewed, I've turned in my fabric, and then I've sewn my tabs together. I'm going to then cut it. I have a straight line, and I need about 6 inches. Make a loop. That's going to make a nice loop for my stocking. Give yourself a little bit more for the seam, cut it off, and then you're going to attach it to the heel side of your stocking. And what I do is I put it inside and I will offset it. I'll put one on one side of the seam and one on the other side of the seam, and then I'll make sure that when I stitch this down, I stitch it 2 or 3 times across, and then I'll zigzag the bottom of it so it doesn't fray. And now you have the hanger for your stocking, and your stocking is complete. Of course, there's lots of different ways to finish off your stocking. You can do various types of cuffs, various types of pointed toes. Here's another type of cuff. This is another one where I've just simply taken the strips of the stocking and put it on the cuff itself. And you can see that this stocking has a heel and a pointed toe. You can turn that into a Texas boot. Here's another cuff and another pointed toe and some appliques on the heel and the toe. Another type of cuff and another type of toe. And then another kind of elf stocking with different. So look for the other videos. The next video should be on cuffs. And thank you for watching. And again, this was brought to you by faithcrafts.com. You can get the patterns, a free pattern online,